package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a follow-up to my Mr. Multisystem 2 video. I had a couple of questions, and in the video myself I didn't figure out how you got arcade cores working. So we'll have a real quick look at the setup and then play a couple of games. Now I've got a couple of folders ready to go here. So one of the most important things you need are your actual arcade ROMs. So I have a MAME 209 set here with obviously lots and lots of arcade cores. And then the most important thing is, where do you put them? So on my Mr. SD, you've got multiple folders here. You've got your arcade here. So what's in the arcade are the actual hardware, the board hardware that runs the game, but that doesn't include the ROM that has the actual game code. Even though some boards only had one game in them, obviously distributing the ROM is the copyright material, so it's up to us as users to go find those. But you don't put them in the same place. That's where people get confused. So in the root directory of your SD card, you have your games folder, which is where all the ROM files that all of the hardware platforms use. And Mr. still uses MAME, so you find the MAME folder, and then in there we have some ROM files. And these ones I've already placed. So I really like Bosconian. I've been trying. My Bosconian board works when it feels like, so I do miss playing it. I've dropped the Bosconian ROM in there, but that's not enough, because Bosconian board also has a common set of Namco ROMs on there. So I had to put the Namco ROMs. I can't remember which number it is. It's not all of these. These are different. It's probably, I think it might have been the 5 series ones. I'll put all the Namco ones on there. I also put Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr. I do like my Donkey Kong games. I've put R-Type and R-Type 2 and R-Type Leo and Xevious. Let's find another game to try out as well. I can't remember what some of the ROMs are. Some of the Mr. files are. So I'll grab the 1940 series of games. It's pretty cool. So all I'm going to do is copy those and paste them in there as well. Sorry, the pop-up screen popped up off the capture. Now we better get something else. Obviously I like my shoot 'em ups and things like that. Now MAME does include ROMs for certain computer systems as well. I'm just trying to think of another good example. We'll go to another one of my favourite games. Right, Time Pilot. Oops, I selected the wrong thing, didn't I? Excuse my bad clicking. There's only trouble with so many ROMs, so I could probably search would be quicker. Another reason why I chose Bosconian to show is that the emulation on Bosconian is not very good. So having a hardware implementation of the board is going to give us a lot better experience. We're almost there. So many things starting with Let's try that again, and let's press the copy icon this time. Yeah, the computer's thinking about it. Yeah, so time pilot's there. We could also another time pilot game, but I also have several arcade boards. This Time Pilot 84, a really cool game in its own right. There's really good sound too. And another one that does not emulate very well, and is also one of my favourite games, is actually Tutankhamun. I must, have a preference for games that don't emulate that well. Right, we're done. So we shut our windows. Always make sure you eject your drive. All right. Right, I'm back. I'm using my 8-bit arcade do stick, which is using 2.4 and gigahertz in the adapter. Instead of playing with the buttons, so I could figure out what they were. So it's reasonably responsive. Just going to try Bosconian. Just see if I can get it working. So the board going through its boot up sequence, which is good. Is right. Not sure where. Okay, that pauses. Just finding buttons here at the moment. Oh, there we go. That one there. Ah, well, yeah, let's start. Just mapping buttons to start with.
Locked off.
Yeah, what's going on?
Alive. Locked off.
In my defense, I'm looking at a bit of angle.
Alive.
Bruised and not as deep as I'm used to.
Alive.
So this chord could still be in development too, so.
Locked off. Alive.
I'm noticing a little lag in the controls, but that could also
Alive.
a Bluetooth, well not Bluetooth, a 2.4 gigahertz control.
Alive.
A little bit of lag. So you can kill these bases by shooting all the turrets around the outside. You get more points for doing that, but it's all a time thing.
Alive. I like.
Oops. So it would be interesting to
Like
see
on.
whether you could get a jammer interface to this going, and then I could always put it in an arcade machine and use those controls. For playing arcade cores like this. Well, not my best score, but we'll take that. Okay, so the green button, H-Sync, V-Sync, flip screen, scan doubler is off at the moment. Okay, and you can reset. And that resets. Which means what's going to go through its boot cycle and everything. That was the yellow button on the front. Yep, done a full board reset. Okay, and then press the red button. Should take us back to the Mr. menu. I found I do need to be a little bit more patient. As you can see, the Mr. is still doing stuff up the top there. That's connected to the network. And then it'll come up date and time in a couple of seconds. There we go. Yep, now my controls aren't working. I have to switch to off and back on to X mode. Maybe the batteries are flat, or almost flat in this controller. Right, so our next thing that we had on here was Donkey Kong. So let's give that a quick go. Okay, so right button's credit. And the sound on this one seems a lot better. But I would assume a lot more attention's been played to this hardware definition. Oh, caught me by surprise. Now, already over the Bosconian, I think this has less lag. Got a placement issue there, though. Well, why my brain thought it was safe to sit underneath a ladder when there's another barrel coming. That's just asking for trouble. No, I'm toast. Alright, well, we won't put my Donkey Kong skills much further to the test. Let's try another game that I've popped on there. Interesting, we're getting a bit of a screen sync issue there, aren't we? Terminal control off and on again. Yep. I don't see any of the 1940 series on there, so maybe I probably should have looked at some of the boards that are available. We can try Donkey Kong Jr. though. That isn't quite. Doesn't look good, does it? Right, we'll turn off for a second. Do a fresh restart. Now it's normal. Yes, it just takes, I have to reboot the controller each time. Alright, we will try Donkey Kong Jr. again. Now, some of these boards could still be in development, but that's better. That's good. I do not expect me to be any better at this one. I haven't actually played Donkey Kong Jr. for ages. Oh. Looking in the wrong spot. I do play these games, I promise. Just obviously. Ah. How to demonstrate this? Maybe a little bit of practice. Damn red thing. Oh, and missed it. Well, there. As you can see, pretty decent Donkey Kong Jr. Just my, obviously, gameplay skills today are very sadly lacking. Alright, when this reboots, we'll go down to another one of my favourites. You can apparently change this fuzzy background thing that comes up as the standard background as well. Right. Let's go all the way to T. Oh, we did put R-Type on there as well. We'll come back to R-Type. Right. Time pilot. Oops. Hey, track the bottom out the side of me. But that feels pretty good. Surely I should be able to do a couple of this. Well, that's one way to ruin your multiplier. Come on, good. No more point gripping. I will just try and get to the headphones, okay. That was close. Did I say I was going to try to get the helicopters? But that seems quite good. I do think maybe a little maybe there's a little lag there, or is it just me not playing very well today? Right, yes, you can do it. You have to wait for the networking thing to happen. Oops. Now, will this work? I've never tried this one before. I actually quite like this game. Two-button game, I like the original time pilot. You got me. Oh, so close. I got in once. Not right up the tailpipe. But that actually seems to work quite well. Has wonderful sounds. Really should set that up permanently in one of my arcades as well. Not enough vertical, so keep on coming across horizontal games. I actually don't have that many horizontal games. Right. Right, so I've done both time pilots. What else did we put on there? Okay. So as you can see, it's not that hard to get them going. Obviously, you need to look at the boards you have first, and then track down the ROMs. The 209 MAME set seems to be pretty good. Okay, different button. Yeah, okay. Just to confuse things. Okay, that was a different button again. I do not have an R-type PCB. Oops. Yeah, it could be a slight lag there. Once again, or it could just be the fact that Tony's not playing very well today. But as you can see, the music, the sound effects seem to be pretty good. That doesn't help when the player doesn't do a good job. So there is a very poor demonstration of some arcade games playing on the Mr. Multisystem 2. It seems to work quite well. I really would like to work out whether you can get some sort of jammer harness interface going. I have to do a bit of research because it'd be nice to just occasionally pop this in an arcade machine and play. Because as well as I like fixing things, owning real hardware can be a pain in the neck, and sometimes you just want to play some games. So having the Mister, you're not going to get much closer than the real hardware, so it's a good compromise. But yes, just need a standard way to be able to plug the Mr. Multisystem 2 into a jammer harness. So I'll do a bit of research, and maybe when I work that out, I'll come back unless somebody else can give some information below. So, all right. I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.